Jesus is Lord of the Sabbath. That's what he declared in Mark chapter 2, verse 28. So the question I ask is, what did he mean by Lord of the Sabbath? Well, Lord refers to governmental heads of nations, kings. And kings were the ones who made the laws, and kings are the ones who changed the law. And what Jesus is declaring as Lord of the Sabbath, he's going to make a change to the Sabbath. It's not going to be what you think it's going to be anymore. The word Lord also refers to God. See, God's the one who gave us the fourth commandment to keep the Sabbath holy. Jesus being God, once he sees that the Sabbath has fulfilled its purpose, and the purpose was to remind Israel of the old creation that God made. Now, since Jesus is going to bring a new creation, he sees there's no need to have the Sabbath rule anymore. That is the intent that Jesus means by being the Lord of the Sabbath. He's about to make a change. You see the context here. We see in Mark chapter 2, verses 23 through 26, the disciples are eating grain, and the Pharisees say to Jesus in verse 24, "Look, why are they doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" So they're saying it's not lawful. They're breaking the Sabbath rules. Then Jesus gives the illustration of David, who broke the law as well by eating bread that was consecrated only for the priest to eat. And he's saying, look, he broke the law because he needed to, because that law to keep him from being able to feed himself and his family was a law that could not be applied in that case. And so this is what Jesus is referring to. He's saying that laws are meant to be changed. And what he's declaring by being Lord of the Sabbath, he's about to change that law. The story ends with chapter 3, where Jesus heals a man with a shriveled hand on the Sabbath. It says in chapter 3, verse 3, Jesus said to the man with the shriveled hand, "Stand up in front of everyone." Then Jesus asked them, "Which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill it?" But they remained silent. Jesus looked around in anger and deeply distressed at their stubborn hearts and said to the man, "Stretch out your hand," and he was healed. See, the whole stories of the disciples breaking the Sabbath, Jesus appearing to break the Sabbath, all of this is meant to show that Jesus, who is Lord of the Sabbath, is about to make a change. And he did. Under the new creation, Jesus wants us to keep the Sabbath by resting. That's what Sabbath means, by resting in his finished work. And when you rest in Christ's finished work, Jesus says that is fulfilling the Sabbath.